Hey guys, what's up? I'm Erin and welcome back to the channel. This is another episode of Open Money, where we have real conversations with real people about their financial journeys. On this episode, we are featuring Shalise. She actually has her own YouTube channel. I'm gonna link it down below, so check her out. She's known as Mommy Trader, and she and her family are on the road to FIRE, financial independence, retire early. So let's hear about her journey.
Hi, Erin. Hi, everybody. My name is Shalise. I am currently 37 years young, and I am from the northeastern part of the United States, Pennsylvania to be exact. So
Well,
I'm happy to be here.
welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome anytime.
And for those of you who don't know, Shalise has her own YouTube channel. I will link it down below. We'll put a little link as well on the video. Please check out her channel.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, guys. And I hope that you come on over and check me out.
Yeah. Well, do you want to start with what your assets look like?
Well, our assets are a combination of a couple of things. We have investments, and we specifically separate investments from retirement, because we can access taxable accounts relatively easily. We have property. So we own 3 houses. We own 1 main home and 2 rentals. We also have gold and silver, like coins. We also have company stock, where my husband has stock in his company, so we add that as well. We have some cash and savings, some I-bonds. So we have like a pot roast mix of assets going on over here. But it's good to be diversified, as they always say.
Yeah, you sound like you have literally a little bit of everything. Now, when you say you have the gold and silver coins, do you physically have the coins?
Yes, I do. I have gold and silver coins and medals, and I actually we have a little bits of gold medals, like actual gold medals. They're
Yeah.
really expensive. Gold is, I mean, if you looked at the price of gold, it's expensive, but we just try to have a little bit in reserves. We have had gold and silver for maybe a couple years now. And so we don't buy it currently, but we just kind of keep it, a little stash on the side.
Hey, my dad actually bought sleeves of gold coins too. So, I mean, I didn't realize that that was a thing until he did that. And I'm like, well, who does that? Apparently more common than I realize. Would you like to break down like the amounts you have in each of those and total up your assets?
The top of my head, now I was just looking at my spreadsheet. So my husband and I keep track of all of our finances through a spreadsheet, because otherwise it would just get insanely confusing. But from off the top of my head, I know total it's about 1.8, I think, but of course liability. So, that's it's not the accurate net worth, but I believe in retirement I'm just guesstimates, but I did do a video about it. But I
Yeah.
believe retirement at the close of the market today was about 240. Investments was about 120. Our property values in the last 2 years, like since COVID, oh my goodness, has went up at least 30%. Our property value is about a little over $1 million. We crossed the
Wow.
million mark, I would say, about 2 months ago. This is when the market was just, I mean, you've seen it on the news. I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys have saw it too. It was, I mean, people were buying houses. We were getting calls about our home. So the value has went up, a lot. My husband's company stock. Now, when I calculate that in our finances, we just use the value it was given. So I always keep it at 359,000. It's worth a
Yeah.
little bit more than that, but because the market goes up and down,
Mhm.
I just keep it with a low number, and just keep it safe. For cash, savings, and I-bonds, $42,000. So when you do all the math,
Yeah.
it goes out.
I love that you have some I-bonds. I bought I-bonds for the first time actually last year. When did
Mhm.
you get into I-bonds?
Back in April, that's when I
Okay.
started. It was a video recommended to
Yeah.
me, and I did some research, and I was like, why am I just learning about this? But I'm glad that I learned when I did. And
Yeah.
so we did. And my husband and I, we just kind of jumped in, and we're glad we did. I mean, we wish we could have put a little bit more, but something is always better than nothing.
Well, starting next year, you can put some more. Have you explored tips at all? Because I know tips and I-bonds are very similar.
We haven't. I think when we first learned about it, what my husband and I, we try to learn about one thing and really absorb as much as we
Yeah.
can about it, so we don't overwhelm ourselves, especially in the investing world. Sometimes, at least for me, it could be a little bit overwhelming because it's so much going
Yeah.
on. And so we always take one thing at a time. And so with the I bonds, once we learned everything, we even bought our children a couple $100 worth of
Yeah.
I bonds. And we just, are still learning about like tips. So maybe next year when we
Yeah.
know everything in terms of our annual budget, like, okay, we could put this much here, this much there. But right now it's just the I bonds.
Okay. Well, just something to check out because they are kind of similar. They don't have that similar max. I think the max, I don't remember off the top of my head for tips it was in the millions. I mean, most people are not going to hit it unless they're an institutional investor, and their interest rate resets every single month, or not necessarily resets, but they get a new interest rate tied to inflation every single month as opposed to every 6 months.
Yeah, that's definitely an avenue I think we want to explore more,
Yeah.
especially in the coming months when the children go back to school. We'll have
Yeah.
more time to actually sit down and research things. So I'm looking forward to it.
How old are your kiddos?
I have a soon to be 16-year-old. She turns 16 in September. Actually, we'll be at FinCon for my birthday. Our birthday, I'm the 7th, she's the 11th.
Oh,
So she's turning 16, and then I have a soon to be 12-year-old. So he's special needs and he has autism. And then we have my youngest son who is 9 and he's turning 10. So we're all fall babies. My birthday's not technically fall, but I always think of September as fall. So
I'm an October baby, so I get it. Fall's the best season. You join with the fall babies. So now, if you have 3 kiddos, how are you exposing them to finance? Are you kind of edging them along with the financial education? Because I assume you're not going to let the schools do it.
Oh, Erin, my daughter and I've actually featured her on my channel a couple of times because she's learning as well. I mean, we were teaching her about, the piggy banks and, saving some of your allowance, but because of the age of the internet, she's coming in contact with a lot more. And so, I believe the best place to teach her especially with other topics as well, is at home. And so we took her to the bank a couple of years ago to open up her own checking account. My daughter has her own credit card, well, she's an authorized user under us, but she has her own card. She
Building that
has
credit young. I like that.
you know what? We teach her, if you go to the store with your friends and you buy some candy or a drink or something, you have to make sure when you get home, you transfer the money out of your checking account to your credit card. And the great thing about it is that, especially with this generation, it took her maybe 10 seconds. She has her phone, she has her app. She literally charges her card and then swipe to the app, transfer the money. And I love to see the consistency. And she says, Mom, if I don't do it right then and there, I'm going to forget. And teens, especially us too, as grown-ups, we don't forget. And so it's so good to see her learn that way. And I think it's because my husband and I, we share a lot of the mistakes we made. She's at an age where she can understand and really teaching her, like, mommy and daddy struggled because we just didn't know. We were not good spenders of our money, and we made good money, Erin. It's just, we had no clue. And just to see her, be responsible. She even has a Fidelity teen account that we were working with her on.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
She buys like McDonald's stock, like the teen things like Target and Five Below. And
hey, I remember as a teen, I bought Coach stock because I thought like Coach purses were like all the rage and everyone got those. I got the stock instead. My first stock was Campbell Soup. So you buy what you know.
Yes, exactly. So she's learning, like, okay, I can be an owner and a consumer. She loves going to Five and Below. She loves Roblox. I mean, she spends so much of her money on those gaming apps. So why not be an owner? And I'm telling you, she walks around different knowing she's an owner in these companies at 15.
And I think like starting her out that young, like that girl is going to be night and day different from her peers. I mean, she's going to have invested from the time she was 15. Run a compounding calculator on that one.
I joke on the channel sometimes that my daughter will be a millionaire before she's 30, just because of what she's doing. And then my husband and I have money for her, we're saving, investing for her. So I joke about it because, sometimes you have to manifest these things and put the work behind it. And she really, because she at 15, she's establishing good credit. She's understanding how to manage her money. She can enjoy some of the things that she likes, but she's understanding, I want to be an owner in Target too, Mom. And so it's just wonderful to see. It really is. That's my baby.
I think that's incredible. And I think the fact that you're doing that with your kiddos is like, you're just setting them up for life, honestly. Like the education, like to even start investing like $100, $50 at that age, like that's crazy. That's the best thing you can do.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and I have to ask, you said you and your hubby made some financial little boo-boos in the beginning. When did you start on your journey? Maybe you want to talk about some of the errors that led up to you starting?
Yes, I in my 20s, and I often talk about this on my channel and to just people that I know in real life. You don't think when you turn 21 that 30 is going to come in the blink of an eye. You're out.
I am still upset that I'm over 30 at this point, and I am in disbelief. Like, I still feel like I'm 20 until I see 20-year-olds, and I'm like, I'm definitely in my 30s.
It goes by so fast. You don't realize how fast time goes by when you're an adult. And I spent a lot of my younger years just partying. I didn't pay my bills, but I had the best clothes, the best shoes, the purse. I had a very healthy diet. When I say healthy, like going out to eat all the time.
Eating the best prepared foods, maybe not the healthiest.
And I remember our sick and tired moment. And this is one thing I will credit Dave Ramsey for is, you know, when he says you have to have a sick and tired moment, he was so spot on. There has to be something that stops you in your tracks to make you want to change. And I remember when my daughter was a baby, about 2 years old, it was dead winter. And we had an eviction notice on our door and we had to pay this money within like a week or we were gone. They wasn't going to extend it anymore.
Oh my goodness.
I think they were just tired of us. And at that point, I was always calling, asking for extensions, always late, being threatened with evictions. And I remember thinking, we got our pay stub in the mail. And when you look at the pay stub and you see both of us was working, good jobs, I graduated college, we were making six figures together. There was no way we should not have been able to afford a $895 per month rent. It just, on paper, we had more than enough. And I think I was frustrated with myself. My husband he wasn't like, he's the saver, I'm the spender, but he would just go along with it just to keep the peace. And so I remember thinking, I'm not going to be on the street with all these purses, all these shoes with my baby in the winter because we didn't have any family. So, you know, if some of you grew up with family, you just don't have family to have money. There was no fail safe. There was no backup plan. We were our backup B and C all the way down to Z. And so when you realize your credit cards are maxed up, you don't have anyone you can go to get some money from, you can't get an advance from your job, you literally have to do or die.
Yeah.
That was like the kick in the moment. And I'm telling you, what saved us was our tax refund. I don't know if this was just a higher power, but we got an email that said your tax refund will be deposited. And they usually will give you like a 2-week span, but ours was deposited by the end of that week. Wow. And so we were able to pay it. And I'm telling you, being that scared, it was like a switch. And it was, okay, we're going to sit down, we're going to come up with a budget, we're going to write out all of our debts, and we're going to just make a plan to move forward. That was the turning point. And it wasn't that we didn't have enough. And that was the sad part. We made enough. It's just, again, going out to eat. You don't think it adds up, Erin? I mean, I was a habitual Dunkin' Donuts stopper. I was like, oh, a sandwich and a coffee. It comes up to like $6, but you go every week. And then you times that week by 52 weeks a year. You just, and that was just breakfast, girl. I didn't bring lunch.
You're like, I was going out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, if I could go back and just, but you know what? I'm appreciative of those times because I think those hard times was the motivation that keeps us going even to this day. We talked to our daughter about it often. You don't want to spend all your money. You can put a little side some and enjoy yourself because that's always a good thing. But please take care of your four walls first. Always pay your bills first.
Oh yeah.
Always.
And how old were you when that moment happened?
30. I was about to turn 30. I'm a September baby and we got our tax refund. Something had happened. So usually we get our tax refund, but we had a bad snowstorm and I believe it was a bad snowstorm and our tax refund. So usually get it in the beginning of the year. Some had happened, so they delayed it, and we were waiting on that because tax refund time was like second Christmas for us.
Yeah.
And
I've never heard that, but I know many people who feel that way.
And when your tax refund is delayed by months and months, you know the IRS is so slow. And we just had no idea. So we had a bad snowstorm where I lived. We were about to get kicked out. And I'm telling you, the IRS just out of nowhere, hey, your money's going to be deposited. I'm telling you, it was, I truly believe it was like some divine intervention.
Wow. Sometimes we just need that stroke of good luck, you know? And then never again. Then we take over and take responsibility.
I'm telling you, and we've had like tax issues before, especially now because we have a lot going on, but we've never had a delay in our taxes until September. But the fact that everything came through when it did, like just in the nick of time, oh my goodness.
So I take it when you were 30, you did not have all of these assets. You just said you had something like 1.8 million. So in a 7-year time span, that's incredible. So you paid off all your debts. What did your debts look like?
We were in $75,000 worth of debt. That was student loans. It was, I'll tell you one bad financial habit I did was I borrowed or cashed out a 401k. You know, again, when you're 26,
I'm not a fan of that.
when you're 26, retirement is eons away.
Yeah. You think it's never going to happen to you.
And I wish I kept the money, but we were in $75,000 worth of debt. And so what we were able to do was that first full year when we got our next tax refund, because we had a daughter, you guys know, if you have children, you get some tax refunds. What we did is we decided to go ahead and pay off credit cards. Like usually we get a nice beefy tax refund. Usually I would try to buy something with it, clothes, plan the vacation or something.
With a Dunkin' Donuts sandwich.
This time, girl, I think we set aside $100 each to do whatever we wanted. And the rest of that several thousand went to pay off something. And we just did that for a couple years. Student loans, I wish I would have just borrowed against the 401k. I'm going back to it because I wish I didn't cash it in, but like car notes and things like that. And so what we decided to do was like after the third year, I was about to turn 33, we were finally debt free, but we were offered an opportunity to invest through the retirement plan. So we started that when I was 30, but we didn't beef up that until around 33. We just wanted to pay the debt off, like really get it paid off, but we were contributing a little bit. So I always try to tell people, you don't have to like do one or the other.
Of course.
You can pay off your debt, but just put a little bit, like we started with $100.
Yeah.
That was what the budget was. $100 is we're trying to pay off a lot of the other things.
And sometimes it's just that like getting started, you know, like if you get the habit going of contributing every single month, you'll naturally up it over time. And especially once $75,000 of debts are paid off, that's incredible that you did that in 3 years.
Yes. I'm telling you, girl, every tax refund, every bonus, every raise. And when you and the great thing about it was, especially my husband, he accelerated relatively quickly in his career, and so did his salary. And so again, since we had this motivation behind this, every $20,000 jump or something like that, if he got a new job, if he got a raise, and I'm telling you, it was no feeling like being able to call up Wells Fargo and paying off our Honda car in cash. It was $10,000. We thought, and I'm being honest, I thought, what can we do with this money? Like,
what else
but we paid it off. And that next month, when we did not get a bill in the mail, I cannot tell you how good that felt. Not having to pay a $437 car payment. And so those things like that, just paying off in chunks. If we got large amounts of money, it went to something. Just
do you still drive that Honda?
I have my Honda van.
Yes. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes. Drive it. And it feels good to drive a paid off car. I don't care how old it is. It hits you different.
Oh, I drive a 2008 Jeep and I love it. And that car, I don't drive a lot because I work from home and I joke that it's a paperweight for the driveway. And I kind of want a new car at some point, but I'm like, it's just going to be another art ornament for my driveway. So why would I do it? So now today, are you completely debt free or is there anything outstanding?
We have our mortgages.
Okay.
So, and I do use credit cards. I'm a fan of credit cards.
Yeah.
Done the right way.
Yep.
But just pay them off. Pay them off.
Yep.
It just it's habit now. I don't come home like my daughter and pay him off right away.
Yeah.
But I have like check-ins with my husband, and we have the meetings, and we'll do it there. But pay him off like no. And now, if something comes up in the future, like a sickness, and that's different. But anything that I can control, I pay it off because I don't like paying interest. I like getting paid in interest.
Yes.
That's my mantra.
Yeah. I like that statement.
So our mortgages are only that.
What's the rough balance of the mortgages?
574,000 and some change.
Okay. So net worth is in the ballpark of 1.2 to 1.3.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's amazing. Yep. I mean, do you pat yourself on the back every single day? Because you should.
Yes. I could tell you, we bought our, and people always ask me like, how did you get this so fast? Well, when we bought our first home, and we used that as like our entry point into real estate. We just kept it and just got another home. Mm-hmm. And then we bought a home last year, and my husband got a big bonus. Again, girl, we are just so blessed because the old Shalice would have reacted a lot different to the current one. My husband and I said, we need to put this money somewhere. We'll pay tax, we'll give some, but we need to put it somewhere instead of putting it in a retail store. So we just bought a house, and we were glad we did, because that was in 2001, because now the market is crazy. The interest rates are high. And so I tell people, we don't have any PMI, we don't pay PMI or anything. So I think that's why the equity grew so fast, because our homes are paid down. We're just paying the principal and interest pretty much, in insurance and all that. But the values, I mean, we tried to buy a home this year, Erin, and we just couldn't. I mean, it's because we didn't try. My husband got a bonus back at the beginning of the year. We would have been underwater because of the interest rates on investment properties and the competition that was out there. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is, you have so many other different investments that I don't really think you need another outlet for real estate right now. But I mean, that avenue will open up again, I'm sure. I always say soon, because anything that's under 10 years I considered soon, because the time's going to go by anyway.
Yes. Especially because we've learned so much from just the age of social media and the internet. My husband and I we watch documentaries. If we have a date night, we're talking about the news or something that happened in the stock market. What did Warren Buffett say this week? And we learn about these different avenues, and we say, okay, well, we can't put money here, but maybe we can park money over here so that we can have something to show for this when we're 40 versus, like I said, a closet full of purses, and eviction notices. We wanted some type of stability in our lives, financial stability, to be the first, in our family to, have a savings account, to be able to help somebody else if they needed help, to be able to know what a stock is. This journey really showed us the importance of financial literacy and being able to help our family understand what it is as well, so that they can buy a house or pay off their car or whatever they want to do.
And it seems like you did everything on your own. You became financially literate on your own. You seem very self-taught. Is that, would you consider that true?
Oh, we were very self-taught. I'll tell you this. I think I was watching an interview years ago from Elon Musk, and he was talking about how we all have 24 hours in a day, and we have to really figure out how to use our time wisely. And as a mother, my schedule was very chaotic, especially when my kids were just born. But I realized is that he was right. The time that I was taking to watch a reality show like the Kardashians or something, I could be using that time while doing laundry or cooking dinner to listen to an interview by somebody or to listen to an audio. And I did. I just learned that way. If I'm in the school parking lot waiting for my kids to get out, I have something playing on the radio or on my phone. I'm always listening. And I realized, Erin, is that I like it. I'll be honest, at first, it was kind of boring. Like, how am I supposed to understand this? How am I supposed to get this? But after I continued to just keep at it, and I would buy other books to read, and people like yourself were, just online telling you, encouraging you, educating you on what to do. If you take that information in and apply it to your situation, you can be self-taught. YouTube University is a very real thing.
Oh, for sure. I learned so many things on YouTube. We're redoing our basement, and I'm learning most of how to do it, like hanging drywall and plumbing, all from YouTube. But Tony Robbins, I'm sure, right? Okay, so he always has the thing that if you're listening to something while you're doing something else, while you're cleaning your house, while you're walking, he calls that net time, no extra time. And I'm like, I love it. It's perfect. Just put your earbuds in, keep learning.
Yes, yeah, it's just using your time. And I would say often, like, oh, I don't have any time. And, as a mother, my schedule is packed, but there were chunks of time. I would, like I said, watch a reality show during my downtime and just mindlessly watching it. I wasn't really like paying attention to it or anything. But now, if I'm watching a documentary, my husband and I will pause it and just start talking about, like, did you know that? And did you have any, like body that went through that? And it just it brings us closer because money is a taboo topic, and we just can have hours and hours of conversation about the economy and our future, our kids' future. And so really using your time is one of the, I think, the key things for us, because without sacrificing that time, we would have never knew what a stock was. I didn't know, the schools didn't teach me, my family didn't know, but I learned from the internet. And oh my goodness, we're, like I said, fortunate. I keep saying like we're fortunate, but it really,
I think that's a huge part of it, though. I think like feeling that you're blessed, feeling that you're like, I'm lucky to be where I am. It's great to have more ambitious goals, and I'm all for people doing that, but just like feeling like, oh my gosh, I've come this far. I think that's an important component of it too. And I think a lot of people miss that. So I love that you say that, honestly. Say it as many times as you want, because I love it.
gratitude is very important in
Yeah.
your financial journey. Being appreciative of every step.
Yeah.
It's a marathon. It's not a race to the finish line. Enjoy life. Just enjoy it, wisely. And I think that, any goal that you have, if you know you got to make a sacrifice, you can achieve it. And that's one thing I had to learn, Erin. You got to make a sacrifice. You is something is going to have to give somewhere. Like I had to turn the reality shows off.
You turned the Kardashians off? I mean, trust me, I love a good Kardashian or like a housewife. Like, I'm in it, let me tell you. I have zero drama in my life, so I soak up theirs. So now it's a long-term journey here, as you said. What is your goal? What are you striving for?
Trying to achieve fire, which I'm
Love
sure
it.
many people know what that is.
Yeah.
But it's not, I think a lot of people think, well, you're just going to sit and do nothing. My husband especially has been really wanting to start his own consulting company. But with children, we're not single Pringles. We have children. They have their own lives that we're constantly running and revolving ourselves around. We just need time. We need the time. And unfortunately, you can't really work for somebody else and dedicate as much time as you need for your dream. So what we decided to do was really kind of get our arsenal up.
Yeah.
Get it built up so that mostly him, he can stop working for someone else and really focus. Because the industry he's in, he can be very profitable with his own business, but again, you need time. And during that time of getting his business off the ground, we have a family, we have activities, groceries, bills. We need to live on something. And so everything we're doing now is going to sustain us during those early retirement years. So $5 million is our goal in 5 years. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
In the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years. It's a stretch goal.
That's awesome, though. I mean,
it's stretch.
I love goals that force you to stretch, but I'm going to be eyes on your journey, girl, because that's incredible. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. I tell people all the time, I said, it's a stretch goal, but if you would have told me 7 years ago that we would be at this point in our lives, I would have said, you're lying. Do you see our debt? Do you see I just got an eviction notice on the door? Like a millionaire, please. No. But you just never know. And that's the thing. You don't shoot yourself short.
Yeah.
Really try to believe in yourself and push yourself. And you just, even if we come short of our $5 million goal, if we hit 3 million, I'm not crying.
I mean, that's still amazing. That's why, like, set the goal as high as you want, because as you said, I mean, if you miss it, you hit 4, you hit 3.5, you're still up there. Now, did it feel different at all when you hit 1 million?
If I was very excited. I actually did a live with my husband, and he was like, it feels the same.
I'm with your husband, because I did like a dance when it happened, but then other than that, I was just like, okay, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yes. I was excited because I knew our journey. I knew our past, our history. being able to network at the career fields, being able to really put any chunks of money we got into an asset. Like I was just so excited, but it gave us more motivation to just keep, like, if you got there in 7 years, imagine another, even if we extended our retirement date out like another couple years outside of the 5 years, just imagine.
Did you say a retirement date you're planning on? I know you said an amount.
42. So I'm
42.
37.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's 5 years. But
Yeah.
even if we had to go to like 6 or 7, still, I mean, 40s is young. Both of my grandmothers are in their 80s driving.
You're still young at 40. At 20, yes. You don't think 40 is young. But as I hone in on it, it's very young.
Yes, people are just living longer nowadays. Yes. And so I'm excited. I really am excited.
Well, I think that's incredible. I think your journey is incredible. I'm in awe of everything you've been able to accomplish in 7 years. And I mean, I think it's only rocket fuel for what you're going to accomplish in the next 5. It's incredible. And the fact that you did this all by yourself with no family support, like that's amazing.
People don't believe me sometimes because they say, how? But in the industry, my husband works in the biopharma industry, the tech industry as well. They pay very well, but if you don't know how to manage what you get, you're not like, it's not hard to envision having nothing to show for it because you just don't know. But when you know and you educate yourself, the progress that can happen is life-changing. And we're witnesses to that. And I try to tell people, even if you can't start at 20, because not everybody knows at 20, not everybody knows at 30, whatever age you kind of see the light, just start.
Yeah, it's better to start saving something. It's better than being like, oh, well, it's too late. I guess I'll be in this position forever.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm in awe. I think you're incredible. I think you're amazing. Any last words you would like to leave people with?
Just believe in yourself. If you want to be a millionaire, if you want to own a home, if you want to pay off debt and you see this big number, it's okay. Just breathe and then put a plan in place. Plans. I'm a big fan of plans. I'm a big fan of writing. I'm a big fan of spreadsheets. Those are all things that are on your side that'll help you to get to that goal. Break it down. I'm a big fan of short-term goals. Break it down. Aim to save or invest $500 a month if you can. And then build up from there. You don't have to max out anything right away. We didn't. We had to build up to that point. You won't be able to pay off debt the next month. I know social media will tell you, but again, 7 years is 87 months. That's a long time. We've been doing this. Every big chunk, put it to something. Every big chunk, throw it to something. And it really helps to propel you faster to your goals. So remember, come tax time, remember, come bonus time, remember, come raise time, come back to Erin's channel. Get your motivation so you can pay off something or invest something or buy something like a house.
I really think a lot of what these YouTube videos are for is like motivation. Because I think so many people who watch it know, like they know what they should be doing. A lot of people are doing it, but a lot of people aren't. And I think that's why we have these kind of channels, because we're just like, we're your reminder. We're that person sitting on your shoulder like, hey, did you put it in your Roth? Hello? Did you put anything in your 401k? Did you pay off your credit card? That's a big one. And I like what you said, writing it down, having that spreadsheet, because I think having that physicality and actually seeing the number makes a world of difference as opposed to I'm putting something in the fund.
Yes. So I'm a big fan, and it helps. I love spreadsheets just because it helps me to kind of chart out. Like if I continue to put my money in with, 8% return, this is what it'll be in 5 years. I'm like, oh, really? And it's like,
let me get to putting it in.
Keep going. So yes, that's what I would leave to everybody. Just start.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Erin, and keep doing everything that you are doing. I'm enjoying your content so much.
Well, thank you. And everyone, please make sure to go check out her channel. I will link it down below.
Thank you, guys.
Remember, if you really like these kind of chats about everyday finances from everyday people, leave it in the comments down below. And if you're interested in participating, all you have to do is reach out to me at erintalksmoney@gmail.com. I post new videos every single week. If you got anything at all out of this one, please give it a like. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Or if you know of someone who might get something out of this type of content, please consider sharing. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.